Imagine waking up one morning in a beautiful Roman city, surrounded by busy streets, shops, markets, and thousands of people. This was Pompeii, a city near Mount Vesuvius in ancient Rome. It was the year 79 AD. For the people of Pompeii, it seemed like an ordinary day. Bakers were preparing bread, merchants were selling their goods, children were walking through the streets, and families were going about their daily lives. But just a few miles away, something enormous was happening. Mount Vesuvius was beginning to awaken. The people of Pompeii had no idea that they were living beside one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the ancient world. Then, the ground began to shake. Buildings trembled. Objects fell from shelves. People looked around in confusion. Earthquakes were not completely unusual in the region, so many people probably didn't realize what was coming. But soon, a huge column of ash and volcanic material began rising high above Mount Vesuvius. The sky started turning dark. At first, people may have simply watched in fear. Then the ash began falling over Pompeii. Small pieces of volcanic rock started hitting the streets and rooftops. The city that had been full of normal activity was suddenly filled with confusion. People rushed through the streets, trying to understand what was happening. Some grabbed their families and tried to escape. Others stayed inside their homes, hoping the danger would pass. But the eruption continued. More ash and pumice fell from the sky, covering streets, roofs, and buildings. The darkness became thicker. Imagine trying to find your way through a city where the sky has disappeared. The ground is shaking and volcanic material is falling around you. There was no modern emergency warning system, no phones, no internet, no helicopters waiting to rescue people. The people of Pompeii had only their own instincts and whatever information they could see around them. Some managed to leave the city. Others remained behind. As the eruption continued, Pompeii slowly disappeared beneath layers of volcanic material. Homes were buried, shops were buried, streets that had been crowded only hours earlier became silent, and then something even more devastating happened. Powerful surges of hot volcanic material moved through the area surrounding Mount Vesuvius. The disaster was no longer something people could simply wait out. Pompeii was overwhelmed. When the eruption finally ended, the city was buried beneath meters of volcanic material. For centuries, Pompeii remained hidden. The world moved on. Empires rose and disappeared. Generations came and went. But beneath the ground, an ancient Roman city was still waiting. Eventually, archaeologists began uncovering Pompeii, and what they discovered was extraordinary. They found streets, houses, shops, paintings, tools, and everyday objects that revealed how ordinary Romans had lived almost 2,000 years ago. Pompeii became more than the story of a disaster. It became a frozen moment in history, a reminder that one ordinary morning can become one of the most important moments in history. The people of Pompeii woke up expecting another normal day. They had no idea they were living through their final hours. And that is what makes the story of Pompeii so haunting. It wasn't just the destruction of a city. It was the sudden disappearance of an entire world that had once felt completely normal.